Puzzles are an interesting activity, and the first puzzles that you should introduce to your child to. The beauty about first shape puzzles are that they are just there's just one piece, and that is important to introduce your child to the concept of object fitting or shape fitting. This is of course a progression over the previous activity, which is the egg and cup activity, where your child tries to fit the egg and cup. And once they have understood that concept, where they've mastered trying to fit the egg into the cup, is when you introduce the first shape puzzles. Again, you don't introduce them at the same time, you introduce one thing at a time. So let's say you begin with the single shape first, which is the circle. So circle is the easiest, because then it's easy for a child to just maneuver the circle around the shape and then eventually put it in. Of course, you can use the show concept, which is slow hands, omit words, to introduce or to explain how to fit the puzzle, which is by keeping it on the table, keep the shape outside, and then pick it and then align it to the shape like this so they can see it, and then put it. However, it's not important or urgent to do it. In a Montessori classroom, they do it because it's a part of their learning curriculum, but at home you can simply keep the piece undone. Now bear in mind, undone pieces are a requirement of any activity in Montessori, because undone pieces are an invitation for a child to complete the activity. So if you give this puzzle like this, of course your child will take it out, but they may not necessarily put it back. So having it outside in an undone fashion gives them that invitation that I need to lift it and maybe put it back. And that's why in the beginning, make it a practice to show them at least once how to do it. And then as they get the concept of, oh, looks like these undone pieces are a part of one unit, I should, maybe bring them together. So coming back to how to show this puzzle, again, lift it slowly, don't use any words, show them how to align the puzzle piece and then let them put it. And then once you tell them to have a go, ensure that it's in undone fashion in front of them. And once you tell them to have a go, let them pick it up, let them pick this piece up, let them have a look, and that's all a part of the learning journey. And slowly, steadily, they will figure out how to fit the piece. Once they are done with this, then introduce the small circle puzzle. And again, in this case, show them once how to do it, and then let them have a go. Let them go through that learning journey of figuring out how to eventually fit the puzzle into the inset. Then you can introduce 3 sides in a similar fashion, and then you introduce 4 sides in a similar fashion. Now 3 sides and 4 sides is a bit harder, because they literally have to land into that inset for it to fit, and that's the journey we want them to take. Similarly, for the square shape, they have to turn a bit before they land into the shape. Once they have mastered each shape, then you can bring 2 shapes together, which is the small circle and the big circle, and then you can introduce the small circle and the triangle, and then slowly, gradually, you can bring all the pieces together. Now there are boards which come with all these 3 together, which generally they say after you've introduced single shapes you should go to those, but aligning them together is good enough in a Montessori at home environment. Of course, in a Montessori classroom there are proper progressions of each of the activities, but as long as you are confident that your child has got the concept, you don't need to introduce the progression of that toy just for the sake of it. It's a nice to have, not a must have. So feel free to simply align them together and then introduce the concept of multiple shapes together. Again, when you're doing it, as you can see, you can mix and match, wherein then you encourage your child to figure out, even though a certain shape is in front of it, to figure out that, oh, this circle doesn't match in the triangle, maybe it should go here, or maybe let me try the circle to fit in, but it doesn't go there, it should go here. And you can actually take turns to show it by saying, this is the circle, doesn't fit in the triangle, but it fits in the circle. Or you could take the square first and say, square doesn't fit in triangle, does not fit. Okay, again, do not speak that aloud, just say it in your mind. So when they see does not fit, does not fit, does not fit, fits, they will be able to realize that, oh, a certain shape can only fit into the inset of a certain shape. And we want them to go through this journey. We want them to figure out for themselves that, oh, I have this capability of solving the problem myself. And that's what puzzles are about. Puzzles are self-correctional in nature, and when the shapes fit, that's what gives them the aha moment. And that's exactly what we want our children to feel, the aha moment, which gives them the confidence that they can do it, which then leads the path to independence. Happy learning.